The Conor Gallagher saga is moving on with the player in Madrid for his medical. We'll look at where things stand with him, Samu Omorodion, and the deal that triggered it all, Julian Alvarez. Welcome along to you at home. Welcome along to Dharmesh and Michael. We'll hear from the boys in a bit. Let's start off with Newcastle. There is an awful lot going on. Let's hear first, though, from Eddie Howe on their transfer business so far this summer.
My phone's not been as busy as I want it to be. No, I think it's always the way during pre-season. It's a very busy time for the staff. I mean, the trip to Japan was as intense as I experienced. And we're just working to try and build the best squad possible to give us the best chance of long-term success, trying to make the right decisions. And there's a lot of critical decisions to make. But I'm really pleased so far. When I look at the squad with the majority of the players fit, we look really, really strong. We've got a couple of players to get back into the group. Callum and Matt Targett are the closest to. They would make a big difference. And then, of course, we've got the longer-term ones behind them. But once everyone's fit, we've got a really competitive squad.
Widespread reports over the last few days that you're attempting to sign Marc Guhi from Crystal Palace. Are you able to give us at this stage any update of any potential transfer?
I'm able to give you nothing, Keith, I'm afraid.
Michael, Eddie Howe is not biting on Marc Guhi. What do you think is going on here, though?
I think we know that the talks are ongoing, that one bid we understand has been rejected. Crystal Palace have a valuation. The player's potentially open to the move, but Crystal Palace aren't going to sell easily, and Eddie Howe is clearly aware of that. Now, Eddie Howe wants the player, but most Premier League clubs now have sporting directors. Dougie Freeman at Crystal Palace is one of the best, and Newcastle wanted him earlier in the summer. Now he'll be talking to other clubs and Newcastle United over this particular transfer. And now we've got Paul Mitchell now at Newcastle United as sporting director. So, of course, Eddie Howe is going to sort of maybe take a back seat in front of Keith and other Newcastle-based journalists. But we do know there is real interest there. We know there's a bid, but it has to match Crystal Palace's valuation. All I'll say, because of Marc Guhi having 2 years left on his contract, that does mean you'd imagine Crystal Palace being open to talks, but it will be a hefty fee for a very, very good player.
Yeah, who starred in the Euros. But what about the man to my immediate right, Dharmesh? What is the news on Kieran Trippier's Newcastle future?
Yeah, Eddie Howe mentioned it there, didn't he? He basically said, yeah, he's a vital part of our squad. Unfortunately, he can't guarantee whether he's going to stay because of the climate financially in and around Newcastle United, and not just Newcastle United, the Premier League generally. Now, I'm told that West Ham United are just keeping an eye on Kieran Trippier's situation while their full focus remains on trying to secure a deal with Manchester United for Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Significantly, though, Kieran Trippier has entered the final year of his contract, but there still is a cautious optimism that West Ham United can strike a deal with United for Wan-Bissaka, so the Trippier one won't come into the equation. What needs to happen between West Ham and Manchester United is securing that fee, first of all, and also the structure of payments, as well as, we're told, the exit terms that would be required from Wan-Bissaka's exit from Manchester United. So definitely one to watch, and it's just one in the background that West Ham will be looking at. I'm sure there are other options that they've got as well, because West Ham United don't just focus on one player. They will have a few other options as well. One player who looks like he's on his way out, though, of West Ham United is Kurt Zouma. The UAE club, Shabab Al Ali, they have agreed a deal with West Ham United for the signing of Kurt Zouma. We think he's going to have a medical in the next 24 to 48 hours. He had, of course, entered the final year of his contract at West Ham United. And this is where it could become quite significant. That's because Kurt Zouma, if he's entered the final year of his contract, West Ham United are going to probably receive quite a low transfer fee. But because we don't think that the UAE club has got that much money to spend on a transfer fee, because we know the wages of Kurt Zouma are quite high, maybe a mutual termination of his contract cannot be ruled out at this stage. I think West Ham's priority would be, if he was to go, to get the wages off the books, because that amount of wages could be apportioned to another player that potentially could come into the club.
Yeah, always fascinating watching West Ham in the summer transfer window. More transfers to come, but let's continue our build-up to the new EFL season, which of course starts tomorrow. We'll be with all 72 clubs before kick-off. Yesterday was League 2, today our focus is League 1. Let's join Mark McAdam, who is at Crawley. Mark, take it away.
Yes, thanks very much, David. Thank you. Welcome to Crawley. You just have to rewind a handful of days to May the 19th, which will probably go down as one of the most iconic matches in Crawley Town's history. Of course, it was at Wembley in front of 33,000 people as they took on Crewe Alexandra in the League 2 playoff. Guess what happened? They only went and won 2-0 and lifted this beauty. Yeah, it's been doing the tour around the town over the course of the summer, and as you could imagine, there's been a real feel-good factor around Crawley Town off the back of that fantastic victory. It was the first time they ever went to the home of football, and guess what? They walked away with this trophy. As you can see, I'm here at the heart of the football club at the moment, and as you walk through the tunnel and into the home dressing room, you can just get a sense of the atmosphere. It's a small ground, but they pack them in, and the fans are very passionate. And when you look about passionate fans, they certainly were passionate at Wembley. Two people that know all about that special day back in May, the manager and Ronan Darcy. Great to see you both. Thank you so much. I tell you what, I'm going to put that on the floor just there in front of us. And let's talk about just how special that day was, Scott, because probably one of the most special in your management career.
Yeah, for sure. You know, a really proud man to take the team, the club, to Wembley for the first time in their history. So, yeah, that was really good. And obviously, there's no point going there if you're not going to win. So, winning it, you know, we're really proud to have that trophy in this building now. But now it's all kind of past memories now. We've got to focus on what's in front of us now, which is a tough task in League One now. So, yeah, we're looking forward to it. It's a challenge, but one we're going to attack really aggressively and head it on.
We'll look ahead to the new campaign in just a minute. I'm going to ask one final question then, Ronan, before we put the trophy and Wembley to bed. The memories, the summer, your friends, your family, what has it been like for you?
Oh, it was unbelievable. It was one of the best moments of my life so far. I think it was a lot of us, the lads last year. They can admit that as well. But no, it's once in a lifetime experience getting to play at Wembley and I'm winning. You know, it was unbelievable.
Does it make you hungry? Does that day, the trophy, the memories make you think, well, actually, I want that again. I want that another season. I want that this season. I want to have more days like that because your career goes quickly.
100%. You know, and like you said, I'm hungry. I'm ready to go again. The start on Saturday, we go again. But now I'm looking forward to the season. You don't do many interviews with your manager stood next year. What's pre-season been like? Oh, it's been good. Been very good. The new
Has he worked you hard?
Oh, he always does. But no, it's, the new lads have really come in and, you know, they're buying into what we're doing. So I'm excited.
Gaffer, obviously exciting times for you, but how quickly after that Wembley win did you start thinking, right, third tier of English football, we've got teams like Birmingham we're going to have to face, Blackpool, big challenges, big clubs that are playing in the Premier League. Did you get the chance to enjoy the moment, or were you too busy thinking, how can I make this team better?
I think it's important to always enjoy moments like that. You know, it's not very often that you win at Wembley and win promotion, so it's important that we spent time to enjoy that. I think the fixture release day was the day where I reset and started looking and thinking, right, this is now the future. We have to put that to bed now, what we've done and achieved. Of course, it'll always be there. You know, they're memories of what we did achieve. But like I say, when the fixture release date come out, we started focusing forward on what we've got in front of us. And, you know, it's all systems go now.
Just finally, and very quickly, it's the transfer show right now on Sky Sports News. Any transfer dealings happening? Are you getting close to a new player maybe before Saturday?
Probably not before Saturday, but there is a lot of work going on in the backgrounds to bring maybe one, if not two more in before the window shuts.
Brilliant. Scott, Ronan, thank you so much for your time. So one, maybe two more in at Crawley before the window shuts. Keep an eye on Sky Sports News for that. And as you can see, the three of us, plus the trophy, are just going to enjoy this moment one more time. But of course, Crawley Town take on Blackpool on Sky Sports Plus, the first game of a brand new season this Saturday. And guess what? I'm going to be here for Soccer Saturday. Can't wait.
Fantastic. Thank you very much indeed, Mark. Yeah, more from 72 Live to come. Let's get back to the transfers then. Let's move things on to Tottenham. And Michael, a year on from selling Harry Kane, Ange Postecoglou surely desperate for a striker, isn't he?
Absolutely, and we'll hopefully be hearing from Ange Postecoglou later this evening on Sky Sports News. Now, he's been very open on the tour of South Korea. There's Tottenham-based journalists. He said to them, look, that's the area. They're light, and they need to bring in a striker. They want to bring in a striker, Dominic Solanke. There's certainly interest there. He's a player that is predominantly an out-and-out striker, but he can play on wide as well. He can drop deep as a 10. So hopefully we'll hear more from him later. There's also a press conference from Ange Postecoglou as well, and I'm sure he'll be asked about transfers tomorrow as well. But of course, Bournemouth don't want to sell Dominic Solanke either. He had a brilliant season for them last season. Now, Andoni Iraola held a press conference earlier, and he was asked about Solanke, and this is what he said.
It's obvious. Dom is I don't know if the most important player for us, but their numbers are there. No? It's not about the goals. He helps us a lot in the build-up, in the press. I would say he doesn't have big weaknesses for us, so it makes us a much better team. No? I feel like he's happy here. He's already training with the group. We cannot control everything. We don't know how the market is gonna finish, but I'm sure whatever it happens, he's a top professional and he will be helping the team, I hope, for a lot of years.
OK, so fingers crossed we'll be hearing from Ange Postecoglou, and also a development on Richarlison as far as Spurs are concerned. More on that in the transfer show at 7 this evening. Now, a new era and a new manager at Liverpool, but no new signings yet. We are live to Anfield next to find out about why that might be about to change. Well, welcome back to the Transfer Show. It is a new era for Liverpool with a new manager, but still no new signings, with a week to go until the new season kicks off. Vinny O'Connor is on Merseyside for us. Vinny, good evening. So still no business for Liverpool this summer, but is that about to change with the news that Liverpool apparently want Martin Zubimendi?
Has identified the holding midfield role as an area where he wants to strengthen as good a job as Endo did for Liverpool last season. On a slot, wants a more all-round player in that role, and obviously someone like Martin Zubimendi fits that bill. The immediately springs to mind is his performance in the second half of that Euros final against England when he replaced Rodri. I think many were expecting Spain to struggle with Rodri leaving the field, but they obviously went on and won the game, and in no small part was that due to Zubimendi's performance in that second period as well. He's got an eye for a pass, I think, in much the same way as Xabi Alonso, who came through the Real Sociedad youth system as well did. He arrived here, Xabi Alonso, back in 2004, of course. And last season we saw Zubimendi score 5 goals. He can score the odd goal. He's got that potential. He scored 5 goals in La Liga in 31 appearances as well. Also part of that Sociedad side that reached the last 16 of the Champions League, so he's got that experience behind him. On top of that, 25 years of age. Of course, it now looks as to how easy a deal is this to do, and in theory, I suppose it's relatively straightforward, given that he's got a €60 million release clause that would be worth around £51.5 million, and in theory, Liverpool can afford that. At the same time, it also makes business sense if they were to negotiate that down a bit. Liverpool may have been encouraged as well by reports over in Spain that Sociedad were resigned to him leaving, albeit it seems that they are trying to persuade him to stay. On top of that, of course, Liverpool might get further encouragement from reports over in Spain as well that Zubimendi would welcome the opportunity to move to Liverpool. At the same time, we know there is interest from other clubs as well, Arsenal and Manchester United, for instance. So in terms of where this deal is at the moment, I suppose the only indication that we've got is that Zubimendi trained with Real Sociedad today. That's ahead of a friendly against Union Berlin tomorrow. Now, we could read something into it if he's not involved against Union Berlin, albeit he did only return to training with Sociedad on Monday after the Euros. So it may take a little bit of time before we get any clear idea of what exactly is going to happen as regards the future for Martin Zubimendi. But clearly Liverpool want to bring him in, albeit they do have other targets in mind if they can't pull this one off.
Vinny, for the moment, thank you very much indeed. Let's get back to our build-up to the new EFL season. The biggest and best ever live on Sky, 4 times more matches than ever before. Will be with all 72 clubs before kick-off. Our next stop is Lincoln, and Sani Rudravajula is there for us.
Yes, and I'm at Lincoln City's new community hub that only opened over the summer, actually. It's popped up, and it's this huge building that we're in at the moment. And actually, there's a lovely community activity going on with lots of young Lincoln fans drawing some of the heroes, some of the new heroes perhaps as well. 10 new signings for Lincoln City this season. Did so well in League One and just fell down at the final hurdle. I'm going to come to the man who's... actually, if you just have a look over here, by the way, there's all the programmes that he's been drawn some of as well. Chris Ray, you are the man behind Imp Tunes.
Yes.
Which are all pretty cool. And 10 new signings means you must have been pretty busy over the summer here.
I lost a whole week of my life. Yeah, I was having to rush home from work every day to try and draw all the signings. But yeah, it's been a busy summer.
And what's the story behind Imp Tunes? Because you're an official partner of the club, and you've got a book and everything that chronicles each season.
I think of it as kind of my hobby that got out of hand during the pandemic, to be honest. I'd always been quite into drawing. And I just had the idea of trying to put out some cartoons and some caricatures of the players during lockdown. And then they just proved really, really popular. And I didn't want to make any money for myself, but people were sort of, they were quite eager to, if you made a book or if you made a card or something, I'd buy that and I'd collect them. So I thought, well, why not? I'll sell a few, and then it's just sort of spiraled from there. So we've managed to raise a lot of money for charity, and we've managed to put a lot of money back into the club through it as well. And also just getting a chance to come and sort of teach young fans how to draw and just chill out a little bit with some colouring in's nice as well.
Yeah, now you're a maths teacher by trade as well. Yes. And as an ex-teacher, I don't think I ever had a classroom as quiet as this. We'll go and chat to a few of them. I might ask them about this man here as well. The manager, Michael Skubala, who came in last season after a spell at Leeds, where he was a coach there as well, and a short spell as a caretaker. And what a great season they had, a brilliant run. They were actually in that final playoff position after a brilliant surge up the table, and just on the last day of the season fell down a bit as well. Let's have a look at some of the drawings that we've got here. Alex, this is lovely what you've got here. Can you tell me what you've drawn?
I've drawn one of the Lincoln City players, and then I've drawn the crowd behind it.
Yeah, it looks very. It looks like it's a very energetic scene. Lots of colour on this one here. Let's go around. You can see a few more of them here. This is Ty, who's got lots of colour in his as well. Ben as well over here. Lots of colour here. Chris, come round. Tell us a little bit more about how you get everyone to get drawing here, because I'm a terrible drawer. And there's a chance here you can give inspiration for lots of football fans to do something similar in their clubs.
Well, I'm a bit worried because they're all really good. I think some of them are actually turning into better drawers than me. I think my job might be under threat for next year, to be honest. But I think the trick is just to have fun with it, really, not worry about making mistakes. Like you said, I'm a maths teacher. I'm definitely not an artist myself, but I don't really think when you're drawing you can make mistakes, to be honest. It's all a bit of a creative process, isn't it? And as long as you're having fun and creating something at the end of the day, it's nice.
Yeah, right. Well, we'll leave George, we'll leave Aoife, we'll leave the rest of them over here to get drawing. But, of course, Lincoln have their opening game against Burton Albion. It's a 5:30 kick-off on Saturday. That's on Sky Sports Plus, and you'll be able to miss a minute. So it's going to be an exciting start to the EFL campaign.
It really will be. Thank you, Sani. More from 72 Live to come, but let's get back to the transfer. So much going on around Conor Gallagher and Atletico Madrid. And Michael, lots of deals around Atleti in particular, but the one that really opened things up, Julian Alvarez coming in for big money from Manchester City.
Big money, huge money, David. I mean, quite unbelievable. Package rising to around £82 million. I know the Manchester City fans absolutely love him, but that is a sensational, supreme profit for Manchester City. We know he's won pretty much everything in terms of club honours. He's done ever so well for Argentina as well. But he's not going to dislodge Erling Haaland. So it's a lot of money Man City are going to receive. And as you say, it's a bit of a domino effect in terms of Atletico Madrid's ins and outs. So it's an exciting few weeks for Atletico Madrid supporters.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, they are offering up a big fee for a player and could get him. And Dharmesh, talking about this man here, Conor Gallagher, and also Samo Omorodion moving between Chelsea and Atletico Madrid. Those things are progressing a bit. Where do we stand at the moment?
Yeah, the Alvarez deal kind of unlocked everything, and so it allowed these two deals to go through. So we do know that Conor Gallagher has arrived in Madrid. He flew there overnight from London to have a medical today. He's completed the first part of his medical. He'll sign off on a 5-year contract. The deal is worth around £36 million to Chelsea. So that one looks like it is a case of when and not if it will get completed. A slight delay probably on Samu Omorodion. It has been agreed between the clubs, £34.5 million, the fee. However, he's with Spain at the Olympic Games. and looking ahead to their gold medal match against France tomorrow. So that will probably accelerate once that gold medal match is over. But Alvarez on his way to Atletico, Conor Gallagher on his way to Atletico, Samu Omorodion on his way from Atletico to Chelsea.
Just a couple of lines before we go. Manchester United's former goalkeeper David De Gea in talks with Fiorentina could be joining them for nothing. He is a free agent. And Darmish, very briefly, an update on Manchester United's midfield situation?
Yeah, they're looking to strengthen in that area. We think that they've opened initial talks with Burnley over Sander Berge. We think Sander Berge would be open to the move. Dialogue is still open with AS Monaco over the potential signing of Youssouf Fofana, who's only got 1 year left on his contract.
OK, fantastic. Plenty more from Darmish, from Michael at 7 p.m. tonight. Transfer show for a full hour. We'll bring you much more detail on all the stories we've covered.